Welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Tim is a certified financial fiduciary and a no-market risk retirement and income specialist, and the owner of SafeMoneyRetirement.com, primarily serving Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and Southwest Virginia. But he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Wood is a licensed life insurance professional in multiple states and specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies. And now, here to talk with you about no market risk retirement planning, your host, Tim Wood.
Welcome to Safe Money Retirement Radio. I'm Tim Wood, an asset and retirement protection specialist. As most of you already know, I released my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, back in 2022. And I'm thrilled to have journalist and podcast pioneer Doug Sandler with Turnkey Podcast Productions with me today to discuss Part 2 of the first section of Chapter 8, Safe Money Part 3, The Key to Peace of Mind.
Now, you talk about a guaranteed lifetime income annuity, and you say it can be for both spouses and that it can grow at a guaranteed rate every year until you start taking it, and that the same will keep growing even after that. So it sounds too good to be true, although I know I've read the rest of your book, so I see the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. But
Right.
Explain how that actually can work.
Sure, absolutely. Basically, the way a guaranteed lifetime income annuity works is you either take some money and put it in there, or we actually do what's called a 1035 transfer and transfer money from an account into one of these products. So it can come from a 401k, an IRA, a TSP, whatever your money is in, and we can transfer it directly into one of these products. Yes, it can be for both spouses. We can set it up as a joint payout. So it's going to pay out for you and your wife or husband for as long as you both live. And yes, it grows at a guaranteed rate every single year until you start taking it. And that's all in paper. It's all in the contract. It's all guaranteed. It doesn't matter what happens in the market. Doesn't matter what happens in anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving you an absolute guaranteed rate of return that you can count on. And yes, there are some that still can grow even after you turn the income on. What we have to do is we have to do a comparison again and figure out what's going to be the best for you. But yeah, that's exactly how those work. Essentially, you fund them however we fund them. They grow at a set rate until you turn the income on. And then in some, it stays at that set rate income for the rest of your life. And in some, it can continue to grow still, depending on exactly, like I said, what's going to be the best fit for you guys.
All right. So I want to recap just so I make sure I got this right. So what you're saying is I could drop money into one of these annuities. It'll be guaranteed to grow at a fixed rate, and then it will pay me a set amount for as long as I live, no matter how long I live.
That's right.
Okay. What's the drawback? Is that, again, I've read the rest of the story, so I understand it, but I want to set it up so that those in our listening audience really understand how this actually works. How does that work, and what are the drawbacks?
Well, the only biggest drawback is once you put the money in there, you really need to put the money in there that you're going to just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on all of these accounts, whether it's for income or whether it's for growth, and I know we're going to talk about both,
Mm-hmm.
you can take some money out. And most of these plans, you can take out 10% per year. But specifically, we're talking about income. I only tell people to put the money in an income plan that you're not going to need to touch until you turn that income on.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start pulling money out, you're killing your growth. I mean, if you're getting a guaranteed 7% growth every year, but you pull out 10%, you're going to come out with less than you started with.
Right.
Follow
right.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. That's really the only big drawback is if this is money in an income plan that you know you're going to need access to before you would turn it on as income, then I wouldn't put it in one of these, because essentially once you put it in there, yes, you can still get to all of it if you want to with fees. I mean, just like with a CD, you can go get your money out of a CD anytime, but you're going to pay a fee. Same with this. But really, the challenge is you can only take some money. You can take 10% out, but if you do, it's going to really hamper the growth.
So one of the things that I'm always concerned about, especially with a mom that's 90 years old, and I look at plans and see what's going on there in the world. Before we wrap up, I want to ask this question because you mentioned that these income plans have a long-term care benefit too. And as I get to the point where I start thinking about retirement and put myself in the shoes of that scenario, what happens if I need long-term care? Can you touch the principal on that, or how does that work? Or is it a loan? I don't know how does that work exactly?
In a lot of these income plans, now not all of them, but that would be something that when we were doing our fact finder appointment, we would determine whether it was something you needed. But in a lot of these plans, they have a long-term care benefit that actually can double your income. So let's say we set you up with a plan and that plan was going to pay you $2,500 a month for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
Okay, great. You're doing that. And a few years later, your spouse, falls, breaks a hip, and is going to need long-term care for a year. Well, long-term care, there's several different things, either 2 of 6 ADLs, which is activities of daily living. If you can't perform 2 of the 6, then that approves it. Or if you get checked into a long-term care facility, again, that's something that we can talk about individually. But basically, the overall thing is if you're getting $2,500 a month, either you or your spouse gets in a long-term care situation where it's approved, then that can double for up to 5 years. So if you're getting
Wow.
$2,500 a month, it would double up to $5,000 as long as there's still money in your account. It would double up to $5,000 for up to 5 years to help you cover those expenses. And you don't have to do any kind of medical exam to get that. That's just a benefit built into the income plan. And one more thing I want to mention real quick as well. Another thing built in there is if you ever have a terminal illness and you need access to all of the money, you have access to all of the money immediately. There's no fees or penalties. So both
Wow.
of those things are built into almost all of these income plans.
Fascinating subject. Again, this is not your grandfather's annuity. I was telling you, you'd be in for a treat by listening to this episode. This is just part 1 of the episode 2. So we've run out of time for today's episode. We're going to talk about the next step of chapter 8 as well as we get to part 2. Tim, thanks for sharing. Again, your expertise is alarmingly good. I mean,
Thank you,
it's only
Doug.
exceeded by your good looks, my friend.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Thanks, Doug.
excited.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Stay tuned for Safe Money Retirement Radio for more interviews about the other chapters in Tim's book, and to make sure you get your own free copy of the book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, free right now. Just go over to safemoneyretirement.com or call 844-905-SAFE.
Are you ready to step away from all of the risks and have your own safe money retirement? A copy of my book can help be a roadmap to get you there. Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success was written to help educate soon-to-be retirees or current retirees about what their options really are in retirement. Options for gains with no losses, options for income that you cannot outlive or your spouse can't outlive. You need to know what your options really are and how you can work with a certified financial fiduciary to make sure that you are in the best option. And my book can help. I will give you a copy absolutely free. Just give us a call, 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. Or just log right onto our website at safemoneyretirement.com and register for your free book right now. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to Safe Money Retirement Radio. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulate while reducing exposure to market risk. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to Safe Money Retirement Radio with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe with locked-in returns that will never go down due to market risk, so you can have the future that you deserve. Call Tim Wood now for your free copy of his #1 best-selling book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, along with the free Safe Money Retirement Information Kit at 844-905-SAFE. That's 844-905-7233. Or visit him online for more details at safemoneyretirement.com. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or in a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. Fees may apply. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insurance company. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are just taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program are subject to change without notice.